I don't know the textbook definition of asexuality, but I know it's somewhere along the lines of not being sexually attracted to someone, just being romantically attracted. Like, you can like someone for who they are, I guess, but not experience any sexual feelings for them.
Asexuality, I think it would be someone who is not sexually attracted to people, but romantically and pretty much just romantically attracted to people. I don't know a lot about asexuality, to be completely honest. I don't know a lot of people who are asexual. Um, if I were to know more about it, I would actually probably want to know someone who is asexual so they could explain to me what they feel and how they view things and what they think of just pretty much asexuality in general. I really don't know too much about it, and I think a lot of people don't, in all honesty. And a lot of people make fun of it, and I think that's just kind of wrong, but that's a completely other topic. On this topic, I can't really define it because I don't know enough about it. Something I would want to know is if they would actually date someone and go through the romantic aspect of it, but not the sexual aspect of it, if their partner was okay with that. And I don't think there's really much else. Just their point of view I'd want to know, and their feelings and opinions. I think that would be really interesting to know, in all honesty.
Hi, my name is Catherine, and I'm demi-romantic gray asexual. Asexuality to me is being able to define yourself as a stable person in society without needing to be sexually attracted to anybody else. And it's not something that you can control, it's something you didn't make a choice about, like you're born asexual. And I think it can kind of range with some people feeling that they need more sex in their lives than others in order to be satisfied, which is what makes it a spectrum. Asexuality was never really talked about to me, so I think it's incredibly important that we talk about it, because I didn't figure it out until I was looking one day through the internet, and I didn't even believe it the first time that I saw it. I was like, what is this? This isn't normal, this isn't right, that's not a real thing. And there aren't many resources out there about it. Like, obviously the community's been growing, but there's still so much more that needs to be done to help people realize that, hey, this is a thing that happens, it's normal, it's okay, people are like this, don't worry about it. Asexuality is important to me, I think, because it can kind of, it makes you closer but also further from society. It makes you realize your individuality a lot more, because you aren't as, like, quote-unquote sex crazed as, society is. You notice hypersexualization in ads a lot more. Like, a lot of times I don't want to go see R-rated movies just because I want more plot, I don't want more sex. But I think it's really important that it's discussed, because it makes people feel like they're broken sometimes if it isn't addressed. And I think we need to include more people in the community to make everybody a lot safer.
Yes, of course I think asexuality should be talked about. It should be talked about all the time by everyone. Asexuality should be the topic of conversation 95% of the time. But seriously, in sex ed classes, there should be a lesson about asexuality. Like, yes, discuss the fact that it's, a natural part of being a human and normal and whatever, to have sex and to want sex, but also discuss the fact that there is an entire other end of that spectrum, of people that just don't feel that sort of attraction, and that's also completely normal and completely acceptable and completely just fine. Discuss the fact that it is indeed a spectrum. You do not by any means have to be 100% on this end or 100% on this end. There's a ton of gray space in the middle where you can fall, you can slide around where you identify, you know, depending on the day, depending on what stage of your life you're in. Discuss the fact that it is a spectrum and nothing about your identity is set in stone. Also, kids should be taught about different kinds of attraction, because I had no idea that aesthetic attraction was not the same thing as romantic attraction, was not the same thing as sexual attraction, and really like setting the lines between like platonic and romantic and sensual and aesthetic and all different types of attraction will help clear up a lot of young people's confusion, because if I had known that platonic attraction was not the same thing as romantic attraction, and romantic attraction was not the same thing as sexual attraction, it probably would not have taken me 19 years to begin identifying as aromantic and asexual. I probably would have started identifying when I was like 12 or 13. Yeah, just make the term accessible, make it common knowledge. Like, everyone should know what this is. It shouldn't be taking you 17 years to discover this term and to discover it online. It should have been brought up when we were younger, when we were learning about all the different, the birds and the bees, if you will. It should have been brought up when we were that age, so we didn't have to spend 17 years, 18 years, 25 years, you know, thinking there was something wrong with us. So yes, we should of course be talking about asexuality.
My personal definition of asexuality is not experiencing any sexual attraction. Asexuality is important to me because without the definition, I would have gone thinking I was broken for years and years. I did think I was broken for a few years before I found the definition. I think asexuality needs to be talked about because hardly anyone knows about it, and it's a very valid identity. But no one is really talking about not wanting sex or not having sexual desire. It's kind of seen as immature and not developed as a sexuality, and so people who are asexual feel like they're late bloomers, or, well, in my opinion, many of them feel like they're late bloomers, or they feel like they're broken because they don't have the desire to have sex with someone else.
My personal definition of asexuality is not feeling any sexual attraction to anyone. Meaning you don't look at someone and think, oh wow, we should have intercourse, or I find them sexually pleasing. That's just not how it works for asexuals. It's important to me because when I was in high school and junior high school, I thought I was fake or a weak straight person, not wanting to have sex, not looking at people and thinking they were hot. I think it's really important, going on to the third question, I think it's really important that people talk about it so that kids don't feel left out and adults don't feel left out, knowing that there's another spectrum other than allosexuality, knowing that we don't have to always want to look at someone in a sexual way. And I think this is a really great project that you're doing. Thank you.